Welcome to Real Estate Real World, where we talk to the movers, shakers, and leaders that are getting it done right now in the real estate industry and beyond. Your host is Marguerite Crespillo, and she started this podcast simply to talk to cool people about what's really happening in this crazy roller coaster ride of real estate. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes and stay up to date on the newest stuff by adding yourself to the list at www.realestaterealworld.com. Now your host, Marguerite Crespillo.
Hello, everybody. It's Marguerite Crespillo, and thank you so much for joining us. We're going to talk to somebody that I've been watching for a while, watching his emails coming through and his Facebook posts and a lot of stuff he's doing. And I'm pretty inspired by this guy who is a realtor, entrepreneur, and coach. Joshua Smith is on our show today, and he was voted the 30th top realtor in America by the Wall Street Journal. Very cool. Top 1% of realtors worldwide, and he's actually sold more homes than me. He's done 3,500 plus homes sold and selling more than one home daily. So thank you for joining us today, Josh.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you allowing me to come on the show. This is a huge honor, so I'm really excited to be here.
And, you know, I'm cracking up because I went to your website because I wasn't completely sure what GSD mode meant. And so for any of you who are offended, cover your ears, but it means get shit done, which I love that saying because, you know, I think that for many of us, we talk, right? And at the end of the day, it's like you can come up with all the excuses you want, but you just got to get shit done.
Yeah, you know, I got a saying in all my businesses with all my staff and my agents, which is no mental masturbation allowed. You know, right? We just mentally play with these thoughts, and you know, especially this time of year, right? Everybody's getting ready to do their 2016 business plans, life plans, and It's like, look, I mean, I'm not saying planning's not important, but the execution, the implementation, the execution is what truly matters. And, you know, we just need to start taking more massive action. And, you know, it's definitely, if there's one secret that's created abundance in my life, it's just been, I've never been the smartest guy or you know, the most polished guy or the best salesman, but I've always just taken massive action, which just continues to create massive opportunities.
You know, it's funny because now that you say that, so I have a good friend of mine that I've known for a long time, and he's a fantastic guy. He always has lots of great ideas of things that he wants to do. And so he came up with this idea a while back to make some sort of a coffee scrub, shower scrub thing. And I know this is kind of off track, but it's kind of funny. And he made this coffee scrub. And I said, well, that's really cool. You know, why don't you do something with it? And so it kind of sat on his shelf. He sends me a text the other day of some website on money.cnn.com about some guy who started a coffee scrub body startup, and the guy's making a boatload of money. And he goes, it's my crazy idea. And my response was, everyone has ideas, but the money is in the action, right?
Yeah, it's so true. You know, it's especially more so today than ever, you know, because, I mean, great podcasts like yours, and with YouTube, you know, really being the greatest university that's ever existed, information is no longer the issue. Everybody has access to all the same information. So what's going to make the difference between you and your competition and everybody else out there is your ability to implement and take massive action. And so whoever can implement, whoever can move, shift, adapt, change, and implement the quickest is going to be who's victorious in this new economy that we operate in.
You know, that's so true, because I saw somebody on one of the groups and stuff on Facebook who was talking about how all the challenges that he has been through in real estate. And my first response was, you know what, great agents do well in any market. Like, you just have to adapt. You have to make changes and adjust to what's going on. So I know you've been in real estate since, what, about 10 years or so? How long have you been in real estate?
Yeah, going on 11 years, and this year I just hit my 5,000th home sale.
Holy cow!
You know, so it's been an epic ride. You know, every single year has been. You know, we've yet since 2005 when I got licensed to have 1 year that hasn't been better than the year previous. So we've continued growing despite, I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. So I got licensed in 2005, biggest boom that, our market's ever seen, followed by the biggest crash. We had, at one point there was, 90,000 foreclosures on the market, year and a half worth of inventory. Some of these home values in certain areas dropped 85% in value. But we were still able to move, shift, and adapt. Now, that doesn't mean any of it's been easy, and that doesn't mean I haven't failed a ton and made massive mistakes. But when you're paying attention, and you take massive action, but you're also reflecting and paying daily attention to it, you can adjust to those mistakes very quickly and learn from them very quickly and continue that growth pattern. So, so going into 2016, it'll be my 11th year. So it's crazy. It feels like a blink of an eye. Because like just yesterday I was passing my real estate exam, but been a pretty wild ride. This industry has been an industry that's 100% changed every aspect of my life. I mean, it's from my relationships to not just on the financial level, but my relationships, my health. I mean, it's definitely changed my entire life.
Well, since it's that time of year when everyone's thinking about their health, tell me how it's changed your health. Give me a little bit of background on that.
What's cool about it is it's not. And it sounds funky, right? How being involved in the real estate industry can have a positive impact on your health. It wasn't the real estate industry per se. It was the connections and the mentors that I was introduced to through the real estate business, right? And one commonality that I found in almost every uber successful person that I've met is their health is a major top priority. So like for me, for example, today, I operate 4 businesses, so 3 other businesses in addition to my real estate business. I've got about 150 total employees and independent contractors that work for me. I've got 3 little kids, at home. So my life is go. There's no way in hell I could do what I do if I didn't take care of my health to allow me to have a certain amount of energy. Because for me to accomplish what I want to accomplish, because I'm not willing to sacrifice my relationship with my kids or my wife because of my businesses, but I'm also not willing to not have successful businesses. So I've got to be able to go out there and perform at a very, very high level for 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, right, to go out there and accomplish my dreams that I have for my life. So that all comes down to your health. When we look at how we process energy or create energy, it's through food, right? So it just makes sense then that the higher quality, the better quality of food, what you put in your mouth matters. And, kind of a little backstory, 12 years ago, so about a year and a half before that in the real estate business, I hit a real low point in my life. I just dropped out of college. I was broke. I was actually living in my car at the time. I was in between places, so I was technically homeless. I was morbidly obese, almost 300 pounds. In a dark place, man. I was drunk every single day by noon, thinking about committing suicide on a daily basis. And I finally decided or realized that, hey, man, this is not going in a good direction. I've got to change. I've got to go out there and make some adjustments. Otherwise, this is going to get pretty ugly. So at that point, I decided to make those changes. Went out there, lost 118 pounds, kept it off now for over a decade, and went out there and started creating. I didn't know what I wanted. I'm 21 years old at that time. I had no idea what the hell I wanted in this world, but I knew what I didn't want. I knew what I wasn't satisfied with. I knew what I hated about myself. So I just went to work on those things. So, my first thing was I was very unhappy with not just my physical appearance, but also my energy and how I felt, right? So when it came to my health, I hated being broke, right? So I always tell people money's not everything, but I've been broke as can be, and I've had quite a bit of money, and life's a lot better when you have a little bit of money, right? Yeah. So just made a laundry list of these things and just went to work at it. So, so I lost the weight before I got into the real estate business, but I didn't necessarily lose it in the most healthy manner, right? So it's now just calorie counting, and it didn't matter if I ate Taco Bell or pizza or whatever, as long as I ate less calories than I was consuming, which do nothing for overall health and energy. You can be thin and still be very, very unhealthy with very low energy. But it was once I got in the real estate business and started achieving some success and getting in some of the right rooms with the right people and meeting some mentors, that really started taking a different path and a different journey. accomplish that?
I know that in real estate, I personally have been in real estate 23 years, so I've been doing it a long time. And, we get busy and life gets crazy, and it seems that our health goes to the very bottom of the list. I know that that's been the case for me many times in my life. And I actually got up and went to yoga today, so I was pretty proud of myself.
Awesome. Oh, yeah.
But for the most part, we're, running around like chickens with our heads cut off. And, yeah, we're driving through Taco Bell to eat something on the way to our next appointment. And it just becomes more and more difficult. And I would say that as agents, the majority of the agents are struggling, with exercise.
Yeah, well, it's not
healthy,
just realtors, right? You've got 80% of the American population that's overweight, over 40% that are obese, and it's only getting worse. Childhood obesity is higher than it's ever been, and it's on a it's becoming a massive epidemic. So when we look at that, though, what people don't grasp and they don't understand is, okay, I got to take the time to go to the gym. I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time to eat right or prep my meals. But the amount of time that it gains you, right? I sleep very little. I get up every morning at 3 a.m. And start my day, right? And I usually go to bed about 10 o'clock at night. So I sleep very little, but my body requires very little sleep because, when you're putting 2 gallons of water, eating a fully organic diet, taking care of your body, right, it recovers that much quicker. So I don't need that. I have zero brain fog, right? I'm able to get done in 3 hours, which most people can't get done in a 15-hour day, right? Because my energy levels are so high and maximized from it. So people just have to understand that. A lot of people think that your car is your vehicle. No, dude, your body is your one vehicle, and you only have one of them. You can't get a new one. You can't get an upgrade. Right? This is it for your entire life. So, we've got to take care of it. We've got to treat it right. But the cool part about it is if you do that, which is hard. Believe me, going through losing 118 pounds is by far the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. I had a guest on my podcast the other day that gave up sugar 42 years ago, and she's like, giving up sugar, not that she had a heroin habit, but she made a comment that giving up sugar is harder than giving up heroin or quitting heroin. Food is the number one drug that exists out there, and it's just being cognizant of that and taking control over it. And if not, I don't judge anybody that doesn't take care of their health, but just understand what those consequences are, right? You have, 68,000 Americans dying every single year from heart attacks and hardening arteries, which 99.9% of that is all preventable.
It's funny that you talk about sugar because I can't remember the name of the documentary, but there was a documentary on Netflix that I watched one night about sugar.
I've seen it. Yep.
And it's interesting because if you just go walking through the grocery store and to go grocery shopping and you look at the labels, it's like every single thing short of vegetables and meat have some sort of sugar in it, even if it's organic sugar, which I don't know if that's any better or not, but, it's got every single thing, bread, everything has sugar in it. And, we wonder why we're in the situation that we're in.
It's sad. And it's the same thing with, if you look at our school system, it's the same thing with education on nutrition, but same thing with education on finances. Right? They don't coach and teach you how to, I know finance majors that graduate college that have no idea how to put together a P&L statement or balance a checkbook, right? So they don't teach a lot of these fundamentals for whatever reason. There's a bazillion theories out there for that, but but the cool thing is we can take control of it and bring it into our lives. But the way that we've been taught all of this is the wrong way, right? A lot of people think, I've got to stay away from fats, for example. No, sugars are again the biggest poison that exists out there. Now they're even talking about Alzheimer's being type 3 diabetes and it all being linked to sugar intake. So the gal that was on my podcast, she gave up sugar. She found a holistic doctor after many, many years of almost 20 years of being hardcore depressed on every antidepressant drug that exists out there. And then she met this new holistic doctor. She was just searching for any option that she could find out there. And the doctor told her, give up sugar. And she gave up 42 years ago. And she said within 2 days, her depression was 100% gone. And it's never come back. It's insane. But the cool thing about life that I've found, and I'm a guy that is I'm not the most successful cat that exists on the planet, but I consider myself successful because I've overcome a lot of adversity in so many areas of my life. I mean, going from being morbidly obese to being in really good shape to being absolutely broke. Now, I'm not the richest guy on the planet, but I make well over 6 figures every single month. And my businesses are all expanding on a fast rate to, having very bad relationships, a very bad negative marriage at one point, turning that around and creating an epic relationship, an epic marriage. And what I've realized is the secret to success is the same in every aspect of your life, right? It's, I've got a 3-step process. I call it my GSD mode model. It's number 1, get outcome, get clarity on the outcome that you want. Like, what is it that you want in this aspect of your life? So I'll make a list of every aspect of my life that's important to me. So my health, my relationship with my wife, relationship with my kids, my businesses, whatever's important to you in your world. Get 100% crystal clarity on what is the outcome that you want in that element of your life. Then part 2 of that is list out, okay, what are the problems and obstacles in the way? Is it, it could be a substance. Like for me, alcohol was I've come from a lot of alcoholism in my family. I battled with it for years. It's one of those things where I had to give it up. It was becoming a problem from me allowing me to accomplish the outcome that I wanted. It could be a human being, right? We have that significant other that's not supportive of where we want to go, or negative friends. Like we've got to get very deal with reality, get very clear on what are the problems and obstacles in the way of you accomplishing those outcomes that you want. So many people think success is an addition. Oh man, I got to be adding more. I'm like, no man, success is an elimination. What are the things that you need to eliminate in your life that are prohibiting you from doing the things that you must be doing to create the success that you want? And then step number 3 of it is just putting a game plan together to eliminate those problems and obstacles to make that outcome a reality. And then it's just, and then I call it from there my reflect, plan, execute. So every single day, living and operating every day, every aspect of your life with full intention. I don't believe in ever entering a day, business or just life, so even weekends, whatever. I've got it planned out. I know exactly what the outcome is. So maybe it's a Sunday, I'm taking the day off. Like this weekend, I'm taking my family up to Sunrise Ski Resort and taking snowboarding all weekend. Right, but I still have an intentional game plan of what that's going to look like, what the outcome is that I want for our family of that vacation. I'm going to live every aspect of my life with intention, right? So step number 1 is planning. Plan it out. Never enter a day without having full intention. You should know from the second you wake up to the second you close your eyes at night, what's going to happen in that throughout your day to make it a win. Then reflection. So every single day I take 20 minutes to pause in my day. I do this at 6 o'clock every single night. I have an alarm that goes off and on my phone to remind me. I reflect through everything that I did from when I woke up at 3 a.m., every appointment, every meeting, everything I was involved in. I'm analyzing, okay, did all of these things align with the outcome that I want, yes or no? And if it's a no, okay, I've got to learn from that and make sure it doesn't get on my calendar again, right? And then, of course, execution, which is what we kind of open this podcast with, is executing on your best self, seeing how you can be more effective and efficient and executing each day at the highest level. And, so many people, and going back to this whole business planning deal, so many people focus on, these long-term goals, these 1-year goals, these 5-year goals, these 10-year goals. I'm like, no, dude, it's way too much time. Just focus every single day. Like, I don't set annual goals. Some people are like, well, what are your 2016 goals? I'm like, I don't think that far ahead. Shit changes so fast in today's world with technology and the economy. I mean, things are expanding so fast. So I set 90-day goals, right? So here's my 90-day goals. Here's what I want to accomplish within the next 90 days of my life. And then I break it down, okay? So here's where I want to be in 90 days. So at day 60, I should be somewhere. Day 30, I should be somewhere. And then in between those are weeks, and then I break it down every single day. So I know you got to be able to keep score. Am I winning or am I losing? Right? So the only way you're going to win the year is to win enough months. You want to win enough months to win enough weeks. You want to win enough weeks to win enough days, right? So then it really boils down to every single day operating at your best self to go out there and execute to create the life that you know that you truly want, that you truly deserve. Just living by it.
It's funny that you say 90 days because my most popular class that I teach is one called Goals versus Priorities. And I teach people to just choose 2 things that they want to get done in the next 90 days. Because goals, it seems like people write those down and then they never look at them again. And they also, many times, in my opinion, when they look that far out, they write unrealistic goals. And I don't ever want to tell somebody not to dream big, but, if you're an agent going from selling 3 homes to 100 homes in 12 months is not always realistic, right? I mean, it can be, but are you really willing to put in the work, which most people aren't willing to put in the work. And 90 days is ideal, right? Because 90 days you can win. First of all, you can feel accomplished by getting those 2 or 3 important things done. And, feel free to add more, but getting a couple things significant done in the 8 areas of your life is profound. And I see huge success from putting it into smaller chunks like you mentioned. I think that's key.
Yeah, it lights a fire under your ass, dude. Because if it's like a year, it's Friday, it's happy hour at Buffalo Wild Wings. So I can scoot out for a couple hours early to go hang out with the boys. I got time to make this up. But by 90-day goals, especially, I want to set big goals, not unrealistic goals, but big goals that scare the living hell out of me, because then I don't have enough time. It's like I can't afford to waste a day. I can't afford to waste a day an hour at this point in my life, right? So I'm just trying to just squeeze as much time that I have. And that's what some people, they're just not cognizant of what actually exists out there. Everybody bitch and whines about time. They'll complain about that. I'm like, well, how many hours are in a week? They're like, well, I don't know. Like, how can you bitch and whine about how you don't have enough time when you have no idea how much time is available to you? It's like somebody saying that they're broke, but they don't know what their bank account balance is, right? So there's 160. There's one thing that I get criticized on most is because I do work. An 80-hour work week is kind of a light week for me. So people that'll be like, well, don't you want to spend time with your family? I'm like, well, these judgments come out of really just ignorance, right? They're not aware of how much time we have and how time truly works. There's 168 hours in a week, right? So let's say I sleep, I sleep 6 hours a night, right? Okay, let's say thank you. So that's 42 hours. So you got 168 hours a week. 42 of those are spent slugging. Let's say, 7 hours of those I'm going to be working out. I'm going to work my 80 hours a day. I'm trying to just do the math quickly in my head, but roughly I've got 39 hours left over. So what I do with that 39 hours, am I going to sit my ass in front of the TV, like the average American that watches 4.7 hours of TV a day, or am I going to go spend that time with the people that matter to me in my world? I mean, it's how we all have enough time to accomplish what we want to accomplish. It's just getting very, very intentional about it. And when I decided to turn my life around and change my life was I was working at a hospital. And this is what really prompted me to go through these changes. I was working at a hospital in Holland, Michigan. I was a nurse's aide on the hospice floor for 2 years. And in hospice, for those of you that don't know what that is, that's really your last resort before that's where you're just kind of waiting to expire from this life, right? So I'm working 12-hour shifts, spending a tremendous amount of time with people on their deathbed. There's thousands of patients over the years. And the cool part about it was because I wasn't a friend or family, they were honest with me. And they were sharing with me all of their regrets. Not one patient out of the thousands, I wasn't keeping count. I don't know exactly how many patients it was, but it was a lot. Not one of them was like, life was epic, life was amazing, I'm ready for the next journey, whatever that is. Everybody had the shoulda, woulda, coulda list. Wish I would have married a different person. Wish I would have went after this different career. Wish I would have traveled more. Wish I would have been a better father. So at that time, going through that experience, I realized, okay, at one point in our life, at some point, the average person lives to 84 years old. We're 84 years old. We are all going to have a conversation on our deathbed, which is the final scoreboard. And it's going to be, hey, what did I do with this one gift called life I've been blessed with? Did I go out there and do something epic with it, or did I piss it away? Right? And unfortunately, it's very sad, but 99% of people piss it away because they're not paying attention. Like, you're going to wake up at some point. You can either wake up now and choose to be disciplined and go out there and create the life that you want with no regrets, or you can wake up on your deathbed and then have that shoulda, woulda, coulda list and die with a heavy heart of regret. We've got to get clarity in what we want. But then when it comes back to it, I know your podcast is real estate specific as mine is as well, so we'll kind of keep on that path. So if I'm a real estate agent, there's a few things, and this is a perfect time of year to really be hitting on this stuff because everybody is kind of game planning. There's a few things that I've learned over the years to be successful with the planning. So I'll meet agents all the time. They're like, hey, Josh, I want to make $250,000 in, let's say, 2016. I'm like, okay, well, what's the game plan? I'm going to work more hours. I'm going to do more open houses. I'm going to be more focused. I'm going to be in the office. Okay, cool. I'm not saying those things probably aren't going to have to happen, but that's a plan to lose, dude. That's not a winning game plan. We need to break it down to every single day and every single week. Are we winning and are we losing? So first off, never, and this is just my personal opinion and what's helped me create success with my business planning, never plan on a 12-month sales cycle, right? Because, what are we on right now? The holidays, it's like between Thanksgiving and the Monday after New Year's Eve weekend, like the world's just on pause, dude. Everybody's waiting for the holidays. So I thought we could base it off a 10-month sales cycle, right? All your numbers, all your appointments need to be setting based off a 10-month sales cycle. So then we know, and this is just for me, I'm a numbers freak. The path is all math, in my opinion, and so I've always been a hardcore tracker. The true wealth, the true fortune, when I know it's not the sexy thing to talk about, but it's in the spreadsheet, right?
Exactly.
So what I've found over 10 years of tracking, and I have about 2,500 agents that go through my coaching programs on an annual basis as well, and these numbers hold true for all over the U.S., all over Canada. 4 appointments made equals 1 closed sale. And somebody may say, well, that sounds like really high. Well, it's 4 appointments made, not conducted. You make 4 appointments. One's going to no-show you, so you conduct 3. Of the 3 that you conduct, let's say you sign 2 clients, right? You shouldn't be signing every single client. If you sign every single client, there's a problem. You should be turning down business as well as you're probably going to be turned down once in a while as well. So I signed 2 clients of that. And of the 2, one will they both may go into escrow, but you got an 85% chance that an escrow will close. So there's a fallout rate there. So, right? So of the 2 clients, 1 will successfully close. So, 4 appointments made is 1 closed sale. So if I want to close 48 homes in 2016, then I know exactly how many appointments I need. I need to close, let's say, a house a week or whatever. I know then that I need to make 4 appointments every single week. Okay, so then we want to break it down even further. Right? It's just divide and conquer. We got to break this down so then actionable steps. It's like I always think about this like if I don't invest in paper assets, but if I were to, and I always use this analogy, I wouldn't want my stockbroker, if I was like, hey, I want $10 million in this account by the time I'm 65, I wouldn't want them to be like, okay, well, I need $80,000 a year from Josh. I want that, and I don't want to even break it down to a monthly fee schedule. I want to know every single day, hey, Josh, when you wake up, I need $73 in your wallet every day when you wake up. Now I know how to plan for it on a daily basis, what I need to cut out or how much additional revenue I need to bring in to make that a reality. So to make those appointments, what I've discovered is that 10 lead conversations equals 1 appointment. So what's a lead conversation? Well, a lead conversation is conversing with a human being about real estate that you haven't done business with before. And it doesn't have to be over the phone. It could be phone call, text, email, but it's you're conversing back and forth about real estate and you're asking for the appointment. It doesn't mean 10 new conversations. It could be you might have talked to them 5 times already and still haven't got the appointment. So then I know if I want to do a house a week, closing a house a week, I got to have 4 appointments a week, right? To get 4 appointments a week, I need to have 40 lead conversations on a weekly basis. And then I can start breaking that down based on how many hours I'm working, how many days of the week that I'm working, and really start allocating that. And then, shit happens, right? Like I had on our team, one of my agents the other day had a house burned down. It was out in the country, so it was vandalism. His sellers are out of state. So he had to go out there. His whole day was shot. He had to go out there, do the police report, be out there with them. So he had this to-do list of things that had to get done, phone calls, conversations, leads to generate to go out there and accomplish this. Well, that day was shot, and that's just life. We all get sucked into the world when it's just life, right? So when we're paying attention, we know the numbers. Now we can adjust for it. So, he can't not do that activity, if he chooses to not do those activities and make up for those activities, he's consciously then choosing to abandon his goals. So just tell me, what's the choice? Do you want to abandon your goals, or do you want to choose to make these up? So then now we know to make those adjustments. So whatever that means, maybe the next 4 days he has to make, 5 extra calls a day or whatever that looks like to make up for that. Then when it comes to leads, because people always ask, well, how many leads do I need? Well, it's different for everybody because everybody's conversion rates are different. But if you're following up aggressively, what I found is about 5% of all the human beings you put in your database that you follow up with aggressively will do business with you. 95% won't. So if you have a fear of rejection, just understand that no matter how good you are, 95% of the people that you ever come in contact with will never do business with you. It's like when people tell me to piss off or F off or whatever, which happens all the time, because you'll get pissed when you're texting or phone calling, right? Not everybody, but I get at least one F off daily. I don't take it personal. I'm just like, okay, this is the 95% will never do business with me. My job is to sift and sort through these to identify the 5% that do want to do business with me, that do value my services, with that. So if I want to close, again, we'll go back to the 50 house a week, 52 home sales a year or whatever. Then I know, okay, I need 1,000 leads on an annual basis in my system. Okay, well, let's break that down again. It breaks down to roughly about 3 a day, right? So every single day I wake up, now I know how much activity I've got to do to generate 3 leads into my system. I know how many phone call conversations I need to be having, to be asking for appointments, to make sure that my goal becomes a reality. And we've got to break it down. The only way that your guys' business will become predictable is to break it down to this level. Like, you need to know your numbers. Again, the path is all math, and it's so critical, but that's how your goals become a reality. And then lastly, one last thing I'll hit on this with is understand why your goals are important to you. So like an exercise we do with my team is, what does success in real estate mean for you and your family? So maybe it's, hey, well, I'm a parent and I've always wanted to put my kids in private schools and give them the best education possible. Okay, cool. What's it going to take to make that a reality? Well, it costs me $100,000 a year currently to live. School's an extra $30,000 a year, so I need $130,000 in commissions. Okay, cool. Right? I'm not gonna throw out a number in commissions just because it sounds cool. I'm gonna make it where it has a deep meaning for me and my family. So this number now means something, right? So what you're choosing to do when you're not doing the activities that you have to be doing every single day is you're choosing to abandon these opportunities that you wanted to originally create for your family. We just got to deal in reality, dude. And people that are always like, oh, man, I don't want to call these expires and get yelled at and bit. I'm like, okay, I get it. I hate rejection too. It's like when I was dieting and losing all that weight, people were like, oh, man, I wish I had her discipline. I'm like, dude, that's a cop-out. I don't have it's not easy for me either. I just choose what pain sucks more. Does not giving myself this Taco Bell or this McDonald's or whatever I was hooked on at the time, and not getting this instant gratification of the meal, does that suck more or less than being obese, no energy? Like what one sucks more? And I always go with that. So when it comes to, because again, I call a lot of expired, a lot of for sale by owners. I hate every second of it. Right? But then it's, okay, well, what would I rather have? Would I rather have some stranger that really doesn't care about me and my family, reject me, get pissy with me, or would I rather have the pain of me going to my kids, going home one day and saying, hey, guys, I can't put food on the table or put a roof over our head, or I can't send you to college or whatever because I was too much of a coward to pick up the phone and get rejected by some stranger that doesn't give a shit about us or our family anyway. It's just, we just got to really be honest with ourselves and deal in realities, and then take that action. And then people, another thing that I always get too is, well, I had a lady on my YouTube channel that the other day that was like, oh, you're so blessed and lucky to be so focused and have this motivation. I'm like, dude, first of all, I don't believe in luck, and I don't want to sound like I'm ungrateful for life, but blessings. It's all been intentionally created. When I wake up at 3 a.m. every single morning, I am pissed off. I'm not waking up like excited, but I put
You're not a
myself
happy
in the right
morning
state very
person?
Well, I am, but I'm like a 5 a.m. morning person, right? Not a 3 a.m. morning person. So, but at that point, you got to make two choices. Okay, am I going to listen to my emotions If I listen to my emotions, you're guaranteed to live a life of mediocrity. And what is mediocrity today? 76% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, meaning they lose their job, they're reliant on government aid. 80% of Americans are overweight. Only 2% of Americans today at the age of 65 can retire without being reliant on their kids to take care of them. That's after Social Security and retirement. So you want nothing to do with average. It's scary as hell, right? So, but if I listen to my emotions, it's like 89% of the stuff I have to do on a daily basis, I hate doing. I don't enjoy doing it, but it must get done. Even though it doesn't create that instant gratification, happiness in my life, it does create massive, massive fulfillment. Happiness and fulfillment are two totally different things. That's one of our biggest problems, in my opinion, on society, is everybody focuses on happiness. Well, it's like, okay, if I was a smoker, I'm not. But if I was a smoker, going on a smoke break right now, having a cigarette would make me happy. But after, 40 years of doing that, and with the health issues and, everything else, well, it's probably not going to create a lot of long-term fulfillment in my life, right? So get out of your mind about this whole, I don't enjoy doing that. It doesn't matter. It's not about you, especially if you have kids. Like, wake up, dude. It's you exist now to go out and create opportunities for your family as a parent. So just get out of the emotional space. Focus on what you must be doing to create the outcomes that you want. And then you said a little bit ago that everybody writes these goals, and then they never look at them. Look at them daily. It's the first thing I do every single morning when I wake up. Like I said, when I get up, I'm pissed off. I don't want to be awake. First thing I do, though, is I grab my phone, I go to my notes section, I review all my goals, all my outcomes, do my affirmations, and then I get right into self-development from there to start my day off right. So I put myself in that right positive state. If your average person looks at their goals once a year, and I'm looking at mine 5 times a day, who do you think is going to win? It's like right now I'm on this phone call with you in front of my computer. Right next to my computer is my vision board for 2016. So it's just constantly front of mind.
It's funny because I think the greatest lesson that I learned in life years ago too was that numbers don't lie. I mean, the numbers tell you exactly what direction to go and where you need, what you need to accomplish and what you need to do. I mean, especially, when it comes to leads. If I tell my agents all the time, look, if you're getting 100 leads and you're not converting them, leads are not the problem. Yeah. The problem is you need to work on your skill, right? You need to work on your conversion skill. And if you're at least getting appointments in front of people and you're not converting them, again, it comes down to skill, not, I think that's a huge fallacy, is that many agents think, I just need more leads, I need more leads, I need more leads. No, you don't need more leads. You need to get better skill at taking care of what you have. And once you do that, then you can go get more leads, right? But I can drop 1,000 leads in your plate, and if you don't know how to convert them and don't know how to manage them, it's just wasted money.
Yeah, I've yet to meet anybody where leads are the issue. It's always their inability to set appointments that really is the underlying issue, and they're not taking enough action. But they just, the crazy thing is all this information is available. So when I'm always dropping a lot of these stats on people, they're like, well, how do you know this stuff? Well, dude, I mean, it's available for anybody, right? Just get off your ass. You're not where you want to be because you're not committed, period. If you were committed, right, you'd be doing the work, you'd be doing the research. So like today, with your average American being sold 2,000 times a day, it takes 15 reach outs on average before communication even begins to happen. So when your average agent, according to Zillow right now, your average agent follows up within 40 minutes and follows up twice. Like, you've got to follow up at least 15 times. First of all, it's 40 minutes, man. There's some big issues that you have.
Yeah, that's already the problem.
But then, okay, I can't follow up twice. I got to follow up at least 15 times. And agents come to me like, I followed up at least 8 times. Should I consider a cold lead? I'm like, no, you have 7 more times before you can even judge it. Right? And then once you start interacting with that lead, they're going to reject you on average 5 times before they say a yes. And it's not that they're rejecting you as a person. They're just saying no, not right now in the process. Either they're not fully ready or they're not comfortable enough with you. So it's just offering value, giving value, asking for the appointment. I had a coaching client of mine the other day that one of 48% of my business comes from mega open house. We do over 30 home sales a month through our open houses. And when I say things like that to the listeners, understand that I have 25 full-time agents. It's not me personally doing, we're averaging about 53 home sales a month right now. That's not me personally doing all those sales. It's a big group of us. But he goes the other day. He goes, man, I'm getting all these leads coming through, but I'm not getting any appointments. I need a new lead source. And I'm like, all right, well, you don't need a new lead source. Leads aren't the problem here. Are you asking for the appointments? And this was just a young guy, single guy, just,
right.
In his early 20s, millennial. So I said, okay, put it this way, dude. If you get to the point in your life where, like, you want to go meet a girl and eventually get married and have a family, and once you get to that stage in your life, what is the first step that must happen? The first step is you got to ask a chick out. Right? Like, they're not going to come to you. Like, you got to go ask them. I don't know too many girls, that are out there. It happens. I get that. But, in most cases, like, you got to take action, and asking you shall receive. It's in the Bible, dude. Like, there's no truer saying than that.
Exactly.
I have a brand new agent on my team, and he has a full-time job still. He's been in the business for only a few months. He's already closed several transactions. He's got another, I think, 3 or 4 in escrow right now. And people on, on my own team are like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what's the secret? And he's like, man, everywhere I go, I ask for business. So like the other day, one of his clients right now that's in escrow right now works at Best Buy in the Geek Squad. He had to bring his computer to get fixed. And he wears his name badge in there. He's having a conversation with that. And he's just gotten in the habit now of asking everybody, hey, are you looking to buy or sell a house right now? Right? No matter where he goes, like at the grocery store, anywhere I go. And he's like, then the other day he's at Verizon, and he asked the guy helping him at Verizon if he needed any assistance buying or selling real estate. He's like, oh, man, I just bought a house 2 weeks ago. I wish I would have met you a little bit earlier, right? So these people are buyers, and he keeps racking up deals in escrow just because every time he goes to Starbucks, every time he goes to the grocery store, wherever he goes, he's doing that. So, this is a dude that, again, has another full-time job, brand new licensee, that in 2016, based on his numbers now, if he just continues what he's doing, will do almost $13 million in sales.
Wow.
Yeah, right? And he's not doing anything revolutionary. He's not doing anything, zero ninja tricks. He's doing open houses on the weekends, and he's asking for appointments everywhere he goes. And he's just getting massive, massive business. And, and it's sad because so many real estate agents, they're so focused on their comfort zone. Well, I feel uncomfortable when asking for people's business. I'm never going to ask them. Okay, cool. That's okay. I'm not here to judge you on that, but just understand if you're going to operate in your comfort zone, you are going to live a life of mediocrity. And I don't judge anybody that chooses to live a life of mediocrity. Not for me, but if that's what they want for their life, cool. Just don't bitch, moan, and whine about it, and understand that you're probably going to die with a heavy heart of regret.
Exactly.
It's just the reality of it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think you're quite the inspiring guy. You're still pretty young. You're a youngin'. How old are your kids?
Yeah. So I personally just turned. I don't feel that young anymore. I just turned 34. And then my kids, I've got a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 2-year-old.
Oh, they're so much fun. So my baby is now 19, so he's 6'1". So they grow really quickly. They grow really quick, and they're a ton of fun.
I'm trying to soak in every minute of it. And I think that's again when we kind of talked about this earlier. But so many people think that for me to go out there and create success in real estate, I've got to sacrifice the success of my family. It's absolutely not. I'm at home every single night like clockwork at 6:30 at night. It's a non-negotiable for me. That's also why I wake up at 3 a.m. though. Sacrifice a little sleep because I know that blink of an eye, my kids are going to be off to college, doing their thing, having their own lives, and I'm not going to be able to get this time with them, right? So just understand, people just do. I don't know if it's a defense mechanism or what, but they just want to deal in reality. Just be cognizant. Here's the reality of this, and here's the consequences if I go this other path. And you can absolutely have it all in this life as long as you live every moment intentional and cut out all the waste, all the shit that doesn't align with the outcome that you want. It's like in my world, like weekend barbecues don't exist, or going to Buffalo Wild Wings, watching sports, or whatever. I got asked the other day, like somebody. On one of my YouTube comments, somebody asked, like, man, what do you have against sports? Like, what's your beef with sports? I'm like, I have no beef with sports. I played football and wrestled growing up. Like, I I like to play sports. But I'm not going to sit my ass on a couch and watch other people live out their dreams when I can go out there and spend that time creating my own dreams. Like, I'm just not going to be a spectator. I refuse to be a spectator in this life, right? So, you know, I mean.
Okay, so tell us what you love to do for fun. What's the fun stuff you do?
So it isn't going to sound like fun to a lot of people, but obviously fitness, you know, and working out, and I hike a lot. We snowboard quite a bit. My wife and I both. All of that's a lot of fun. I'm a huge geek though, dude. So I do what I love. Like, I absolutely love. I've never really considered myself a real estate agent. I've always considered myself an entrepreneur. I've never looked at myself as a realtor, right? I got out of selling real estate as quickly as I possibly could to focus on the entrepreneur aspect. So to me, and it sounds kind of freaky, but nothing is more exciting than growing businesses. There's nothing that I've ever found in my life that's more challenging, that's harder than growing businesses, right? So every single day, I mean, I get to do what I love with that. I'm a huge reader, so I'm an introvert, you know. So I'm not.
What's your favorite book?
Oh God, I hate getting this question.
Okay, what are you reading right now? We'll do it that way. What are you reading now?
So I'm actually reading Albert Einstein's biography right now. I'll give you guys a good list because I know this is, you know, your listeners are realtors, entrepreneurs. So I'll give you some of the top reads that have had a profound impact on my business world. I think the foundational for any entrepreneur is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Absolutely brilliant, especially for real estate. Especially like if you want to get to like open houses, for example. I mean, his Ford analogy that he lays out in there has made me so many millions over the years.
Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams, right?
That's it. Yep.
Yep.
The Believing Brain. I'm a big believer in studying human psychology. You know, so many entrepreneurs and so many realtors will study real estate, but I'm like, you know, we've got to understand what our consumers want, how our consumers think. So I love studying human psychology. So The Believing Brain is brilliant. The Talent Code, that book will absolutely blow your mind. It's about how we learn. They go out there and say the greatest talent hotbeds all over the planet, and you know, really break down, okay, how are these world-class athletes or musicians or, you know, singers or whatever created, and they really go deep in breaking that down. The last one I'll give you is 10X by Grant Cardone.
Oh, yeah. He's awesome. So I just bought my husband and son his socks for Christmas.
Yeah. So, I just had Grant on. Yeah, I just had him on my podcast recently, and the dude is just such a brilliant man. And, you know, the dude that 25 years old, had nothing, was just checked out of drug rehab, was broke, you know, and he chose to turn his life around. And, you know, now he's got a net worth of several $100 million, has a private jet, and is on his way to being a billionaire, you know, and it's all self-made, all through hustle. But 10X was the first business book that I've ever read that paints a true picture of business. How much action is it going to take? Everything's, businesses fell because of undercapitalization. No, businesses fell because they didn't take enough action. Like, how much action does it truly take? You know, I always tell entrepreneurs that want to get in any business. I coach against a lot of entrepreneurs from a lot of different fields. I would say the cool thing about entrepreneurship is you get to pick the hours you work. You just get to pick and choose the 17 hours of any day that you want to work. You know, right? so at least for a period of time, you know, entrepreneurship is sacrificing a certain part of your life and living like nobody else, so then you can live the rest of your life like nobody else. Like, I made a conscious decision at 23 years old to get into the real estate business, and I gave myself 7 years of 100-hour work weeks, no days off, no vacations. No 23-year-olds are out there doing that, right? Everybody, even my family members, you know, right? We're Josh, go out and enjoy this time. That's crazy. You're going to regret it. Well, by the time I was 30 years old, I built a business where I could have retired for the rest of my life. You know, right? Now, retirement was something that isn't in my vocabulary, that will never happen. But because I was willing to sacrifice that time, by the time I was 30, you know, I created so much abundance in my life where I can live the rest of my life now on my terms, doing exactly what I want to do.
Well, you know what, Josh? We went way over, which is perfect because you have so much incredible content that we got today. I think you're quite the amazing young man, and I am, well, I say young man, you are younger than me, but it makes me sound like an old lady when I say that.
Right.
But
I definitely appreciate the opportunity and kind words, and I appreciate your listeners taking some time to listen to this, and hopefully they picked up some nuggets. And if I can just leave maybe one last word of advice, again, you guys, it all comes down to implementation. So if there was anything that was shared, or even if not, when you're listening to other podcasts, other guests, you've got to implement. Information is not power. Information without implementation is delusion, right? So it's taking that information, taking massive action on it, implementing it into your business, into your life that creates power in your world. So, just take whatever you've learned and go out there and start implementing immediately. Don't wait.
Well, and I'll tell you that I'm right now on your YouTube channel, and so if you are listening in, just go subscribe to his YouTube channel. There are, I don't even know how many videos I'm trying to count, but
we've got like 500 or 600. Yeah, we just voted. So they just put out a list of the top 19 most influential real estate channels, and just included in there. So I created a whole studio. I gutted one of my offices now, and we have a studio in here, and we release content every single day. So you guys go check it out. There's a lot of great info in there.
And we'll post the links to it and links to his websites and everything else. But do you have any events or anything coming up that you're working on?
Yeah, so I've got 8 speaking gigs that are taking place in 2016. So one here in Phoenix. It's actually myself and then Josh Altman from $1 Million Listing and Craig Proctor. 2,500 agent event at Celebrity Theater. That's March 10th. And that'll be in Sandy, Utah, Toronto, Canada, Kentucky, New York, LA, and Seattle for some other speaking gigs. And they're all free speaking gigs that I do. Actually, this industry's changed my life in so many different ways. I actually pay for my own airfare, my own hotels, whatever cities we choose. I tell whoever we're choosing, whatever brokerage or companies that we're choosing to speak to, that they have to, of course, pay for the room and whatnot. But it's just something that I do to give back to an industry that has ever changed my life. I also do 2 to 3 free webinars every single week. So if you guys, you can always access those on gsdmode.com, and those are 100% free that we do there too. So.
That's fantastic. Well, again, Josh, thank you so much for your time. You gave us so much great stuff today, and I know our listeners are going to hear some good things. So thank you for taking time out of your schedule to be a guest, and I look forward to meeting you one of these days out on the road somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Will do. It's an honor. You guys take care, and thank you so much.
All right. Make it a great day. Bye-bye.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us today on Real Estate Real World, where we talk with masters and leaders in real estate and beyond on how we can raise the bar in our industry. Please subscribe over on iTunes. And while you're there, be sure to give us a review. Your reviews encourage us and help others find our podcast. For show notes and hot topics on what's going on right now in our real estate industry, pop on over to www.realestaterealworld.com and add your name to our email. Thanks again for listening. And go out there, be a part of the elite master